afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. I think we all need a little flower therapy today, and it's Wednesday. How perfect for that. I've got my coffee. I know it's kind of weird. I don't have my thermos. It's almost like I don't know what to do now, because I was supposed to come up and unscrew and pour my cup. But now, thank you, Heidi, I have my special cup, which I've been having so much fun zooming it in and linking it to my phone and setting the temperature. How weird is that? I never knew you would have a high-tech coffee cup. What I learned, though, is I actually, when I'm in the studio or in the classroom, prefer it with no lid. So the only time I use the lid is when I take it in the car. So learning curve on how to deal with the fancy dancy cup, but it's way cool. So I do have my coffee. It's ready to go. And now, housekeeping. You know the drill. If you're on your phone, turn it sideways. You'll have a bigger picture. If the comments are in the way, give it a swipe. It'll put it in silent mode, and then you can see the picture better. If you're at work and you've got it down in your earbuds because you don't want your boss to know that you're watching a live stream, periodically we'll say, what do you think? And that's your clue to turn it and look, so you'll know what's going on. We know all the tricks. If you're on your computer, go full screen. It'll be larger than life. But first off, before we do anything, time to introduce yourselves. You know the drill. Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Here's my Tulip. You do the same. Get to know each other. Begin the collaboration. We have an amazing full house today. We are working with a live studio audience, which is very exciting. All the usual trouble. We've got Ricky, creative director, keeping us live. We've got Annie, teacher, watching on YouTube and Facebook, looking for your comments, questions, verbalizing. Ricky will also be doing that. Then off-site, we have Teacher Doug, Teacher Michael. They are joining us from Florida and Texas, and I'm sure they'll be responding back and forth with you as well. And then Susie will be on YouTube, and Caledonia is on Facebook, already hard at work greeting you and saying hello. Then in addition, you know there's always more. At Floral Design Institute, you can't go part way. We have a live studio audience. So these last couple of weeks when we said, and on the other side of the wall is Teacher Jeri, and the students today, students are on this side of the wall. So you may actually hear questions from them as well if they think of something that they have that burning desire to know. But yes, we've got a lot of people crammed in here. Why, you may ask? There's one reason. Actually, there's lots of reasons. Mostly because I thought they should get to see what a live is like. So that was the first thing. But the other reason is because on the other side of the wall would have been Teacher Jeri, but Teacher Jeri is on this side of the wall today, and she's going to be doing the live stream with you. And I just get to be here to be her extra pair of hands or a questioning mind. So Teacher Jeri, come on up, yay!
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
It's been a while. When was the last time? I think it was the toolkit. Would have been like last spring sometime?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Has it been that long?
I think
Yikes. Well, it's fun to be in the studio. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking, not gonna lie. So bear with me.
It is scary.
Yeah.
And
But you make it easy. You make it easy.
I'm just like, come on, you can do this. But yeah, it was last spring that she was with us and did the live stream and what's in your toolkit and how she does hers for her event business. If you missed it, you'll want to go back to the Teacher Jeri playlist, and in there you'll see her live stream with the toolkit. It was amazing. But the reason I know it was last spring is because that was the end.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking that too. I was like, wait a second, okay, there's that whole summer break in there. Well, it's not really a break, but a break from teaching.
A break from teaching, yeah. We don't get Teacher Jeri because summertime is when she's at her extreme busiest, doing weddings, events, as well as dailies and the rest of the story, but her big focus is obviously summer weddings. And you had, what, 60 some?
Just under 100, yeah.
Just under? Oh my gosh.
Just a few. And I know there's people who do tons more, but that feels like plenty. We're going to maybe pull that back a little this coming year.
So just under 100 weddings. That's amazing. And it just ended, what, 3 weeks ago?
Actually, last week I was saying, like, that's the end of our season last week. So we still have a handful of weddings going into the end of the year, but last week was the last week of like multiples and.
So you can sort of sell.
Yeah, we have one here, yeah, so.
Okay. And so now you have to figure out how to keep the doors open.
Right, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. So I'm kind of excited about that, and we're just, honestly, I feel like I'm a little bit behind, so we've been thinking about it, but we haven't had a ton of time to really like get into it. But this time of year, yeah, I feel like I have to figure out like how to keep the lights on, how to pay the bills. Of course, like I squirrel money away, as all event florists do,
Right.
so that we can survive the winter, absolutely. But you also don't, like, if you don't have to live off that, you know.
Then it's yours.
Yeah, right? Right, for sure. So we definitely start to like market more dailies and think about all those ways that we can make a little extra money, so, right?
So I'm sure each of you is coming up with that same thought process. If you're a wedding florist, you're like, okay, what do I do now? If you've got questions, you have the mind at your service. So think about those questions. And what are you going to share with us today? I know you have lots of plans.
So one of the ideas I wanted to share is that, I don't know if all florists or maybe just event florists are hoarders, but I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I think we're all like, what's going to be cool next year and can we use it? But we have this rental inventory that we use for our event clients, and then when things, you know, are not moving or we haven't used them, it's like the back of your closet, right? You need to figure out what to do with it, get rid of it. So we have a handful of things in our inventory, including this little pedestal dish that
It's very heavy.
She is very heavy. She's a little, like a little dirt in the top there, but
oh, would you like me to clean that for you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. She's ready now. She's a little dusty. She's been on the shelf, so she hasn't been used. But anyway, just thinking about like what we have in inventory, you know, even if it's class or, and I know, you know, we're all probably doing that. Like, what do we have in inventory that we can like turn into something spectacular for the holidays, sell it, you know, create some value with it, yeah, and have it go out the door, right? So
make money.
you're right. So this is one of the, yeah, make some money. This is one of those pieces. We have this, so I was like, oh, what can I do with this year? And I was thinking, and I think the other kind of thought process is like, this time of year, we don't want to train on these big, you know, crazy things that we need to like learn in the studio. Well, we do a lot of training in the off season actually, but I think we're just not ready, and we want to train in wedding stuff. So I wanted something pretty simple. So this is really just a really simple, classic, you know, table center, like the holiday table center. I'm going to jump off camera here.
So this would be something that even your entry-level employees
Yeah.
could be able to do.
Yeah, just super straightforward and easy. Just going to create it in a little bowl with a little bit of floral foam. You could also maybe use a little bit higher container and use wire. I think that would be tricky in this particular piece, but want to give those people who need that alternative an option for that. But just painted out this little bowl that's going to fit in here perfectly, and have a half a brick of foam in there. So I'm going to start just with this part. And
so this is something you could easily pre-do, load them in the cooler, and then just drop later.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I was thinking about that as well, right? So nice and easy. I'm just going to go ahead and tape this foam into the bowl.
So while she's taping, Annie, anything over there that we need to be aware of?
Oh, we have viewers from all over, New York, Washington, California, Oklahoma, Delaware, Indiana, Michigan, Florida, Georgia, and Connecticut. I haven't seen any of our international viewers just yet pop in, but
You know, the international, because of the time change, they may be showing up at odd times, because a lot of times with the international, the time change, because we did our fall back on Sunday,
right.
so they may show up at 4 o'clock.
You can hear the water at the end.
I can.
So I'm just going to water this in a little bit. My foam's already soaked, of course. And then this particular little bowl doesn't fit all the way in here. So you'll see that it has just a little bit of a lip, and so I wanted to hide that. So I did one up a little bit in advance.
This is like a cooking show.
I know, it's
on
like a
TV.
cooking show. So I did one up with just a little bit of moss. And I tried not to get that moss down in the bowl at all, because you know how moss is, it wicks water and makes a big mess all over. So I just wanted to get that right to the edge of the bowl. And you could use.
Did you glue it in place?
Oh, thanks for asking. Yeah, see the tricks of television. I did just hot glue it to the top of the bowl, so I just hot glued right above the top of the bowl, just to give it a nice finished look when it's done and you don't see any bowl. And then I'm so cheap, but that's what this live is about, right?
That's
like
right,
making
make
money,
money.
saving money.
That's
So
right.
as I was prepping this yesterday, I was doing another arrangement with a little bit of boxwood, and so I was like, okay, here. So now it's like a little bit greened up too. But that's the nice thing about an arrangement like this is if you keep a bucket of like little scraps and cuts, right? We can use it in this type of arrangement,
yeah.
right? Okay, but next we have to get in some evergreen. If this is a holiday piece, right? So.
We are trying to focus on holidays here, if you haven't figured that out yet.
Moving that direction. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a handful of cedar, kind of extending out of this piece. Starting to break that line. She's too little. Okay.
Is this cypress or cedar?
I'm sure this is cedar.
Just regular cedar?
It just looks very sturdy. It's not the
It's not the
floppy.
drape. Yeah.
You know, I am an Oregonian, but I don't feel like I would be an expert. But it was marked cedar when I bought it.
Well, then we're gonna believe it.
I know,
I
although
believe
I was a
everything
little
I read.
disappointed. I went to the wholesale market very early this morning, but I intended just to cut some cedar for my tree, because that would have been more of a savings, right? What was I thinking? But I left the house too early and didn't think about it, and I thought, oh, now I have
And
to
it's
buy
dark.
some,
I
right?
know, I got your text at that dark 30, I'm like, okay.
she's going.
And she's probably there already.
So I'm just gonna go around the outside a little bit and, like I said, break the line, bring some greenery down. There's all sorts of beautiful greenery in the studio, so I'm gonna go in with some other greenery as well, just to give it a really pretty mix.
Do you have a rule of how many greens you should use?
Well, it's probably your fault that I do, but I like at least 3, and I like something that's not an evergreen in a holiday arrangement. I think it really makes it feel elevated and a little bit different. So even when you're, you know, as a florist, I know probably everyone has it in their area. Like in our area, you can buy some pre-done and pre-greened pieces, and they're lovely, but they're intended to last really long, so they only have the one type of greenery generally. And I like to, even if I'm using those, add something else so that it just gives it a little bit of a, I don't know, an elevated look, right? So just turning this into a little hairy beast over here.
I love it.
You love it. Well, thank you.
I'm going to steal
What are you-
across
yeah, what are you
and
stealing?
put this, because that microphone is picking up your
Oh,
clipper, so you can
all
set it
the
onto
dinging.
there.
Oh,
Yeah, because
sorry,
they're
you
going
guys.
click, click.
Oh, good call, good call. Sorry about that. Okay, so have a little bit of, we think maybe cedar, maybe.
I think it might be cedar.
Sure smells like cedar.
And if it was labeled as cedar, we're gonna call it
You
cedar.
know, sometimes those wholesale houses though, they.
We can
mix
always
stuff up
say,
too.
okay, tulips, what is this? Something already told them, we can't.
Oh, now we can't?
Yeah, I know.
So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Italian rustics just for some fun change of greenery, a little bit different texture, a little bit different color. Okay, you guys, any questions?
Yeah, what's going on out here? If you guys have a question, this is your chance, type it in. What do you do?
Or better yet, what are you guys upcycling for this season?
And that's the better question. For those of you that are doing your own businesses, how do you market, upcycle, prepare, keep your business going so that we all know? So type that in there. Give us all a hint, a tip, so to speak.
Yeah, we were just talking about, you know, there's a handful of people out there like in forums and talking on, you know, different groups and things like that, you know, some people are kind of worried about this season. And if you have some sort of tip or trick or something that's really working for you to be a profitable florist in all seasons, share, we'd love to know them, right?
That's right. That is beautiful already.
She is pretty and easy, and everything in there would last for weeks,
Oh,
right?
so well, yes, definitely. Just make sure and add water to the foam periodically and
Maybe good to
Good
go. Okay, so Leanne, what are your thoughts on the whole take the carnation and rip the center out? You have your thoughts on that? Should I have asked you this off camera?
Actually,
No, use that one though, use the dark one.
oh, you want a dark one?
Yeah, I want a dark one.
Well, it's funny because probably tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to repost, we have a Tulip Tuesday for Veterans Day on how to make a veteran's poppy. And to do that, you use the red carnation and pull out the center and then add in a poppy center, which is not really a poppy, but it makes it just perfect Veterans Day flower for a gift or for just enjoying. But anyway.
Well, and long lasting.
And very long lasting. But yeah, it's so on trend right now to yank the centers out, which cracks me up actually.
But I think it goes to like this, I think sometimes there's this mentality that you have to use the whole flower or the whole stem of something because you're giving the client the most value. But I sometimes think the opposite. When we manipulate something or, prune it back, we're actually giving more value by using like the design skills that we have.
True, yeah. And this one has that complementary center. It's green on the inside.
It's perfect!
I didn't know that. I'm like, oh my gosh, how cool is that? So maybe we can get it up to the close-up camera so everybody can see the green in there, because it is kind of interesting how it came out.
Yeah, so just tearing out the center, I think, really changes the whole look of that flower.
So did you need more with the centers out?
Yeah. Sous chef, please, may I please have?
Well, Grace on YouTube is loving your greenery arrangement just as is. She says it doesn't even need flowers.
Uh-oh, isn't that always the trick when you make like some beautiful greenery arrangement and then you're like, don't mess it up with flowers. Not that I don't love the flowers, but you just don't want to mess it up.
And she also said that
Thanks,
she
Grace.
likes to use her dried flowers. She dries her own, and so that's kind of a cost savings
Well,
strategy.
Stay
Grace!
tuned, Grace. We're coming around to that too.
Oh, great minds, Grace, great minds. No, we're totally going to talk about that. And I was thinking even this piece it could have like dried in it as well. Ricky, what do you have over there?
Yeah, Chris on YouTube is wondering, kind of like from a business standpoint, how far in advance could you prep an arrangement like this to like keep them on hand?
Yeah, so like an evergreen arrangement in foam, oh gosh, weeks to be quite honest. Maybe some of your softer greens like your eucalyptus, you might want to put that in last minute or closer to last minute, but all the rest of this you could do it weeks in advance. There's always that piece in the back of your cooler that has like evergreens at the holiday season. Maybe you don't sell it off and you're like 4 weeks later, you're like, oh man, it still looks okay, As long as you're watering it in and you're in a situation where you're not getting any like mold or rot, it's amazing how long evergreen arrangements last. The professionals, we are professionals, but those people who only do like the evergreen things, like tufels here in Oregon, I'm sure they start weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that answered your question. So, okay, so the next thing I want to put in here is this gorgeous end of season hydrangea. Is she not so beautiful, right? I know, and the nice thing about end of season hydrangea is you get these like little secondary heads, and so I'm hoping not to overwhelm this arrangement with them.
And they're local, I believe.
These look local.
Yeah.
They have all these like weird little cuts and all this personality, right?
I like that, the personality.
They have personality. Well, as far as long lasting, right? Late season hydrangea is pretty bulletproof, so I pulled these off. Was it Grace who was talking about dried flowers, right?
Grace.
Sorry. So this is the type of thing that we totally save in our studio, like these little like late season hydrangeas. In fact, I'll foreshadow here. I'm gonna add them to my little bowl of dried treasures there. We'll talk about that here soon. Okay, so I'm going to put these hydrangeas in here.
5, 6, 7.
Hydrangeas? Oh, carnations. Oh, you're so on top.
I'm intent here. I have one job. I want to do it well.
Okay, slow down. Oh,
I'll just have another cup
speed up.
But they were having candy in class today, and I didn't because I knew coffee and sugar.
You're like, too much. That's funny. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I tend to design in a lot of triangles. We all have our weird crutches. Triangles are mine. But if you're making something in the round, it's a really easy way to stay in the round if you're just constantly creating triangles. So that's what I'm doing. And I tend to be a very imperfect designer. That's the vibe I like. So of course they're not all matchy-matchy, but they're in my little triangle so that I know they're going to feel like nice and balanced in the arrangement. So those are my 3 hydrangea. And then I like to go in next with whatever is kind of going to be my next like visually bulky flower. And in this case, I think it's going to be these sprays.
Ooh.
And I looked on the team, Leanne. Bought these this morning, and I unwrapped them. I don't know what they are.
Ooh.
But how beautiful are they? I chose them because they were a little bit of a burgundy red. Just love this
It's
little,
not minuet, is it?
I
Yeah.
you know,
Are they from California?
they're from the wholesale market.
They were at the store.
They were at the store, I don't know.
They were pretty.
I could probably find out, but they're super pretty. I love them. I remember a million years ago, probably along when we first met, and I said to you, how do you know all the roses, Leanne? And you were like, it's not possible anymore.
Yeah. It's funny because years ago, if you came to basic floral design at Floral Design Institute, you actually were required to list every rose.
Oh my goodness!
But there was only like 12 that were commercially grown. So Caramia, Sonia, LeBron. I mean, there were so few that was actually part of the test was list these rose colors. Bridal pink, bridal white, you know, and it was just like now, literally what, thousands of
Right.
colors?
From a memory standpoint, that sounds fantastic. From an artistic florist perspective, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, there was nothing. It was just like so bad. I'm like, no. Yeah, and students would complain about having to memorize 12 names. I'm like, oh. Now I'm like, okay.
Thank goodness for Google. Google Images, right?
That's right.
Okay, so getting these spray roses in here, and then next, Leanne, let's do some, is that hearts over there I see?
It is hearts.
That one I know. It's just so pretty. So I am intentionally leaving the center a little bit open. When should I put my fun little treasures in here? I have some candles that I'm going to put in here. I feel like basic table center, but we're going to elevate it with like a fun container, and then we're going to put some candles up in here. Should probably get those in before I run out of space.
And you might want to show them the bottom.
Oh, absolutely. Here, I'll take one out. And the other thing I wanted to mention about this is that tapers are so hot in the event world right now, but you never use a whole exact box, or at least I don't. So I always have like weird little leftovers. These are leftover from a like dark and moody event we had last month. So I didn't have to buy these for this live stream, and I have lots of white, and if only I could figure out how to get rid of the lavender ones this season.
You turn it into deep eggplant.
Right? I do like for that. But maybe I add it to that. I don't know. So, okay, so going to add some candles in there, and I apologize. You said these are just little candle holders. Sorry. Where are we? There we go. These are just little candle holders that you can buy at your floral wholesale market, and then the taper fits in really super nice and snug. Which, if you've been using, you know, the little fancy glass holders all season with the sticky stuff and the
trying to
chimneys,
understand
yeah, this
string.
is like, oh, so easy and beautiful, right? So look at, she's so pretty. So
She is pretty.
I'm just gonna add a few of these carnations and maybe a couple of those hearts, and I'm gonna color done.
The hearts are incredibly thorny, so just be aware.
Oh no.
Yeah, they are. I was like, whoa.
Is it a good day or a bad day when you're covered in Band-Aids?
I know. Means you've been working with flowers.
Right.
Oh, boy. is so much fun. Play with flowers every day.
Right. This is a brand new knife, and I love this little inexpensive knife. She's my favorite. But she's so sharp when she's right out of the package, so I'm waiting to.
Okay, let's not do
Yeah, I'm
one
designing, distracted, trying to like, you know, a little
Talking to
nervy.
you, yes.
So when I cut off my finger, that'll be a.
We've only had one bad cut during a live,
Oh no!
so let's not have another.
Oh no! No repeats today.
Good thing the flowers are red. You're
Oh,
right.
it's totally fine.
It's totally fine.
Totally fine, for sure.
So let's see, was it Kathy on Facebook said that you just need to get rid of those lavender candles for Easter.
Oh,
That'll be here in no time.
like a Easter table center? I
Yeah.
love it. All right.
Okay.
It's true. People do order a bunch of Easter table centers. I was thinking, like, how long before I'm like, I don't want to do any more dailies. Like, we'll always kind of continue to do them, but we pull back the marketing and things like that when the wedding season
Because you're
gets a
busy.
little crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, they are so mean.
I know, they're nasty.
Teacher Dove says that you can use Design Master and marbleized candles with a metallic.
Oh, so I was wondering that. That's wonderful to know. I was wondering how that would burn if you paint them.
One way to find out.
We should try it.
Let's not
Next
do it
slide.
at the school. You can do it at your place.
It's a party. There should be wine and spray paint, burning of things. Goodness, what kind of party is that? Okay, I'm gonna grab
Brandon on YouTube says no cutting off fingers. Halloween season is over.
There we go.
We're done with that. Okay, and Leanne, I think this needs a couple of blue thistles.
Okay.
I did, if we wanted to keep it very like red and green, I did spray paint a few. Oh,
my
where is it?
favorite.
A few gold. You love spray painting them?
Mhm.
We could see what that would look like in there. You like that better than blue?
Love
Okay, our
that.
studio audience says
Love
go gold. Here, you guys want to vote too? So here's the blue, here's the.
Oh, love it.
Oh gosh, you guys,
I
I'm
know,
letting
it's
you
hard to
down.
get it in there.
There's the gold. Okay, the vote has been gold. So I did spray paint these outside of the filming studio. Because otherwise, right, we would all
Well,
be
because we would get in
asphyxiated.
trouble.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble. And we want to be able to breathe.
David is out there watching, going, no spray paint in the studio.
With all the camera equipment. I don't understand this problem.
I know, I don't get it. You know,
So
David,
picky.
you're so picky. Yeah. He won't let us have fire and spray paint.
All the things.
All the important things, yeah. You
So-
would have been really happy earlier, David, when I dumped over an entire almost bucket of water on the electric cord. You know, electric and water goes together really well, but
This
it's
was
dry
like
now.
a freak
It's okay.
situation.
It was a very freak situation. And it was off camera.
Almost impressive. Almost impressive. Okay, so I think that I'd probably go through and detail this out. Maybe add a little bit of moss, which I saw you have some. Just around these little candles because we don't want those ugly little holders to show.
I was just imagining everything you would need today to make sure it
You
was
were just
ready.
like manifesting moss. I'm sure she needs moss. Right? Okay, and you know how it is. We could go on and on and on about all the pieces. This is the kind of piece with this, like, I love this vibe where it's just a little bit northwesty and soft. We
For
can
those
keep
of
detailing.
you, for those of you that are watching in your earbuds with the phone down, now is your chance. Take a look. What do you think? And everybody out there, give her some love. If you think it's great, like it, like it, like. Give the thumbs up. And if you share out to everyone, let them know that Teacher Jeri is on a roll. And she's got 2 more to do with y'all. So make sure that you spread the word and give her some hearts and you know the drill. Give her some love.
Okay, so of course, like I jump on camera and I get all nervy and I forget all the things that I just told you I wanted to share, right? Like all of them.
I was figuring right now you just come up with the next one, right?
Yeah, well, I should do that. I should do that. Anyway, I'm gonna slip some pine cones in here, then we're gonna move on. But look how beautiful those are in here. It needs the pine cones for sure. This is just an 18 gauge. We're just gonna come around the bottom of the pine cone, give it a little twist, cut it to the length that you need, and go ahead and slip them in there. Oh, so pretty. Okay, one last one, and then we'll move. Are you saying we should move on to the next thing, Leanne?
Oh, you've got a good 30 minutes. So you're
Okay.
good.
Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
have to design really fast. Okay. And I didn't grab another 18, but this will work.
I have.
You're like, I have an 18 right here. Okay. Well,
Again,
I know.
being prepared for you.
Thank you. Oh my
All
goodness.
about Jeri.
You just that drawer, just stock.
That's
just
my
for me.
magic drawer.
Thank you.
Everybody
Thank
needs
you.
a magic drawer.
Oh my gosh, I feel like all of us florists probably have a magic drawer, or too many magic drawers.
Unfortunately, yes. That is true.
Jeri, everyone's loving your arrangement. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks guys.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't certain I was ready for the holidays, but we did start listening to a little bit of Christmas music today
Did
in
you
the
too?
studio.
Oh
I was like,
my
I'm
God.
listening to Christmas music, and I was like, how fitting, right?
Yeah.
She's so pretty. Maybe I am ready for Christmas or whatever holiday you're
Yeah,
after.
And we might be done being ready in a couple of weeks, but for right now, it's kind of nice to have the Christmas music
This
on.
was totally a dinner time conversation. I'm gonna have you grab that white container over there. for me.
Okay, and then I'll take this one out of the
Yeah.
way.
So dinner time conversation, we were debating whether it was too early or not to decorate and do Christmas music and all those things, and we have a really mixed camp at our house, and bands and strong feelings both directions.
Oh,
so,
really? Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yes.
David and I were just talking, is it too soon to put the tree up? And I think it's a little
No,
bit.
I say no. It's fine to put it up.
I left mine up since last year. It's my favorite thing in the house.
You're like, it's ready to go.
Well, and then my memories came up, on Facebook, and October 27th is when I put it
Put
up
it last year. So
I'm late.
The reason how I was justifying it to my family is that you get into the season and you do all the prep and you're setting up all the corporate accounts and all the things, and then you're like, I don't want to do my own. So if I do my own early,
Right.
then it's still cheery, because then if you wait too long, it's a chore.
It is a
So-
chore, so no, I think it does need to be done early. Plus, the holidays just get so hectic to where you feel like you don't have enough time for anything.
Right.
So if it's done, then you can just sit,
Right.
have a glass of wine, listen to the Christmas carols.
Right.
Oh.
You know, couch
Okay,
picnics,
David,
that's my
we
favorite
need
thing.
to do- We actually even move our couch so that it looks
Like a
correctly.
fireplace,
Yes.
picnic, yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about 2020 is all the couch picnics. Okay, so I totally just picked this off with my fingers. And it's fine early season, but when you get down the road and you are tired of being, and plus like something with like Noble or
Oh my gosh.
when it gets all icky, yeah.
And the
So
pine.
this is my favorite like evergreen. Let's see if I can do that. I can't do the camera thing. Look at this, you guys. I'm a mess.
If you hold your mouth just right, it might work.
And I just perfect. Who else does that? Like when they just
I do that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can
love
hold an idiot when I'm doing it.
Totally, that's so funny. That's so funny, always. Anyway, this is my favorite little evergreen trick. Like we get these for like all our wreath workshops and that type of thing. Save some hands a little bit. So this is why did I bring this out? This is a little leftover container from events as well. So we have a handful of
So this is
these
another one you want to get rid of.
left in season or left in the studio. So I thought, well, these will be perfect for a little holiday piece. I actually put something really similar to this on our store over the weekend. I was trying to like update, be ready for the season. And one sold and went out today already because it's a nice transitional
Oh my
piece.
gosh, so you
So-
just did the update this weekend
Yeah.
and one already sold? too?
Yes, I know. So I was like, okay, well, we're stocking evergreen now. But, it lasts a really long time. And it's a good transitional piece. Everything in this piece is easy to keep. Thank you, ma'am. Easy to keep stored in your cooler. Or pluck off your tree, I don't know. So, but the one I did the whole point of that, you guys, the whole point is that the one I did this morning, I did do in foam, and wanted to talk about, I can't show you that one, I delivered it on the way here, but it could be done in floral net as well, and that is how you guys can probably see it, I'll do this, but that is how I prepped this one with just some floral net and then taped that in.
So with your business
Yeah.
during the holidays, percentage-wise, how much would you say would be netting and how much foam, or are there alternatives?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, well, sorry, I don't know if I'm answering your question right, but to me it's about the shallowness of the container. So this piece kind of pushes it for me. So totally, you can totally design this with net, and that works really well. The container's deep enough to make that all happen. But once you have to deliver a bunch of these this shallow, this one is just so tricky and sloshy. If you were doing this for an event, I wouldn't have any problem with net all day. But one-offs, when you're sending them out with the delivery driver, this is just a really sloshy mechanic, and that would be my concern. Like all of our like subscription clients and our corporate clients, we do all of those in a little bit larger containers, and we do all of those in net. And the nice thing about our corporate clients is that we get the net back every week, and that's just super easy. And but those daily ones are a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
So okay, so gonna just run a little bit of cedar in here. What we're calling cedar. And then I'm going to go in with a mix of greenery as well.
So if you guys have any questions, type them in and we'll be watching for them. So, and we had asked them about tips that you use for marketing your business. Did anybody come up with a tip for us on that? Ways that they promote their business or increase profits?
I don't have anything regarding marketing, but Scott says that they prep all their pine cones and cinnamon sticks and glue their ornaments and make their bows, ribbons and bows, and put them all in different plastic bins so that they don't have to stop what they're doing while they design.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So you're pre-doing all of your pine cones and such and just having them in bins ready to go. That's cool, Scott.
Yeah, that's a great time saving, tip for sure. I mean, that reminds me of I'm trying to remember, Scott does some event work too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel like that's an event florist, like, okay, what can we prep, like weeks in advance? Like we'll have all the containers taped, that type of thing.
Or the
So,
corsage ribbons.
all the corsage ribbons, yeah, all the things. We'll have all the wicks cut, we'll have it all ready to go, so. Okay.
But that is so important because when it comes down to the time,
Yeah, and I think that that's
I'm
probably
sure.
an all florist thing. I mean, if you think about any holiday, every florist is like, okay, I'm gonna have all my stuff lined out. Like that's how we survive it. So
well, that's one of your, I think, greatest skills is to be able to think through the steps from point A to Z and then establish your timeline and put them together and assign who's doing what. I mean, you are so organized. That's very impressive.
So I don't consider myself very organized, but this year has been an interesting year in our studio. We've had the opportunity to work with just a ton of freelance designers, and it's been really fun, but there's been like some stressful moments about it too, but we've had to be like super organized. But multiple people have said like, oh, all the spreadsheets and all of this, and I was like, that's how I like stay just a little bit sane. Not all the way, just a little bit sane.
Partway, so you don't
Partway.
go completely to the dark side.
Yeah, but it helps me sleep at night. And I think that there's a line in there, how much you can manage or set up in advance. There's some line in there where it stops making sense. You know what I mean? Like where I don't think that it's a savings or it saves you money or maybe it always helps you sleep, I don't know. But there's a line in there somewhere. But
I do believe if you do that plan ahead, it allows you then when something does happen, you can handle it because you've got all the things that you could plan for handled. And so then when there's something that you couldn't plan for, you go, okay, now we'll do a presto change-o here.
well, that's like the nice thing about we try to have our hard goods prepped like a couple weeks in advance. When we can. But the nice thing about that is that if you get behind, you already have that already done, right? So like that's not one more thing that you're doing during the week. So, okay, so I'm just adding kind of some layers of greenery in here, kind of a base layer of greenery. And go back with just a little bit more cedar. And here again, like everything so far, of course, like the greenery, this is all gonna last a really long time in here. And we're going to kind of continue that trend with this piece.
The deep of the ruscus goes so well with the light
Well,
green.
that's a really dark ruscus.
I know,
too.
isn't it
She's really
amazing,
beautiful.
dark?
Yeah. Is that a seasonal thing or a farm thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
seated in here, and I like to add floppy things before I get too far down the road, just so that I can kind of shore them up. I don't like them going in at the very end, because I feel like if I can work some other things around them, they're less likely to jump out. Anything floppy, instead of going to the edge of the container, I like to go more into the center of the container. Same idea. I can leave that stem a little bit longer and pull her to the outside and know that she's not going to fall out quite so much. Or he, whatever seeded whatever seeded eucalyptus is. Okay, and now for some flowers.
What can
But
I
it's
hand
beautiful
you?
as is.
Like, call it done. Okay, so I'm going to reflux the kale. And let's use 2 of those beauties, yeah. They had some rough spots, but once we get it open, she's gonna be beautiful.
They are so lovely. And to me, they really are autumn to Christmas. They just.
Well, once you put them with this cedar, they just totally
It
look
is
holiday,
totally,
yeah. Okay, what else are we gonna put in here? I think we'll put a little bit of that statice. Try not to pull it all over. She's short. And statice is one of those, botanicals here again that we've been saving all year long for dried projects. Any little broken pieces or cuts that we don't need, those have been going in our little box of dried things. Okay, it's gotten quiet in here, Annie.
I know.
What do you got?
We're
Anything?
quiet today. I don't know, do our students have any questions here?
I do have a question on the stripping tool. What do you call that? Is there a name to that?
Stripping tool.
Stripping tool?
I don't know if it has a name. I call it a stripper. And out of
Oh, a
context,
stripper.
I tell you.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, stripper.
So-
That'll be easy to remember.
This morning I told everyone in my own studio that I needed to take the stripper to FDI, and they were like, "Oh, okay." So
We have a student who actually, for Valentine's Day, gets their product in, blah, 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 blah. But by invitation only, they let their best customers come to their stripper party.
oh my gosh, and clean flowers.
And they come in and strip the roses, and they
Oh my gosh.
actually are excited. And they go on waiting lists to come to the next stripper party.
Oh, that is awesome.
I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
That's
See,
brilliant.
those are the things we need to be sharing with each other. Like, that is amazing.
But think about vineyards,
Oh my
sometimes
gosh.
that they'll charge you.
To stomp the grapes.
Yes,
Yeah,
and you
100%.
have to pay them to come do the work. And
Sounds perfect to me.
I was like, Annie's taking notes, stripper party.
Well,
Anybody with a wine.
I already shared this with our students, but 15 years ago when I was in flower school, we actually had a stripper in my class. Do you remember that? Yeah.
It wasn't this kind, you're saying. So I really
Career
like to.
change.
What'd you say?
Career change.
Career change. Yeah. I really like to spray the kale with a little bit of leaf shine. Who else does that? It just looks so pretty and shiny. I won't spray it in here because that would be horrible. We would all be asphyxiated, but
We would get a call.
we would get a call.
From David.
Actually, it'd be Ricky's phone would be exploding. Tell Leanne and Jeri to stop.
There's like oil floating through the. Yeah, I'm sure it's the worst, but it makes these so shiny and pretty. Get this guy
I
in
like
here.
to spray my hypericum.
Yeah, just make them nice and shiny.
Yeah.
I know, we all have our weird little florist things, so. I didn't put very much white up here, Leanne. Let's go with some of that blue thistle. I can't fit that one in. She's too big.
I just think they're pretty.
She stays at the party.
Okay, you want to do those on there?
Oh, thank you, Leanne. Gosh, see, I needed you. What would I do without you?
It's my job to make sure that I have all your stuff ready for you.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, so you better hand me part of that garbage can because Leanne and I designed the fridge. She's really clean and I'm really
I
dirty,
know.
so I'm trying to keep my mess over here and she's trying not to look.
I know, it's hurting me a lot.
I'm sure it is. So funny. I'm the messiest designer. My table's always clean. Like I have to be able to have a clean table. The floor, disaster.
But it's so fun.
It is so fun. Maybe
And
slightly
then I have to
unsafe.
show up and say, and you're fired!
I got in trouble earlier.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you're in your own space, you can get away with all the things.
Rick says, Team Messy.
Oh, thanks, Rick. I know. I used to work with a gal who worked at a shop, and the boss would tell her that if her floor wasn't messy, she wasn't working fast enough. So that cracked me up. Okay, so Leanne and I were just talking about this as well earlier off camera. Like, what do? Do you leave a little bit of like dirt and roots on your succulents when you put them in arrangement? Sometimes I'll snap them and then I'll tape that, especially like on smaller ones. Or are you team?
Cut it off.
Speaking of teams, are you team cut it off and just like make it all like clean so it's not messy, doesn't make a mess in your arrangement? It totally makes sense, but I feel like the plant lover in me is like, cutting off the roots. But we know it'll reroot even if it's just sitting there.
And they were grown to be sacrificed.
So sad.
Oh, and you could sing then too.
It's a microphone?
Yeah.
What would you like to say to the microphone? Okay, so I stabbed that with a wood pick. We were talking earlier. You could stab it with a skewer, any of those types of things. You just need something pretty heavy duty. And I just go one in and I just push it in, and I just am really super careful with the top because I don't want to break off all its beautiful petals. And then for extra security, you could go in with a little bit of cold glue.
It's on the other side of your water.
Oh, I've hidden it.
And if you want to hand me your water, I'll get rid of it so that you
Right, so I don't dump it on anyone.
So that I do all
One
the
and
dumping.
done, yes.
Teacher Dove is hoping that you keep this arrangement blue and white so it can be used for Hanukkah.
Teacher Dove, you're in luck.
Silver. Silver would be good.
That would be pretty. No, absolutely blue and white. Oh, you guys, I might have cut that too short. Let's see. Oh no, she's okay.
Don't you hate it? You're like, oh
I
no.
know we're talking, I can only design. She's fine. She's totally fine. But I think like my mindset with this piece in general, or this like idea is to keep it not Christmassy, like more like a neutral holiday piece. Here again, like a piece that could be from now until, you know, into January. That's about as far as I can deal with evergreens. Once we're through January, I'm like, done.
Done.
Yeah.
But no, you are correct. It is a very trans-seasonal, and you're correct, it would be lovely for Hanukkah.
Good idea.
So here's a different one. So Rick says that he likes to wash the dirt off the roots.
Yeah. Oh, and leave the roots.
Yeah, and leave the roots, and then I guess he'd wire it. That's my assumption.
Yeah. Well, Rick he wins the award for like plant lover. I feel like that's
Yeah.
like a lot of TLC.
That's a lot of TLC. Or he says you could use tillandsia and then not have to cut it.
There you go. There you go.
Good idea. I like it.
Yeah. So sweet. Okay, so let's put a little bit of orangium, which I always like to lovingly call blue thistle. Who doesn't?
But then you have to wear your teacher words.
I know,
and
all
go.
the big words. Just put a little bit right here.
So tulips out there, we've got about 10 minutes left. I know
Oh, no.
Jeri's got a couple more things she wants to share with you. But if you do have questions, you've got her for 10 minutes. Don't delay. You gotta get it in there.
Okay, well, oh my goodness, I better get kicking with gas. That's what she's telling me. She's not talking to you guys. She's saying, get a move
being
on.
subtle.
Have Leanne finish her design.
Okay, this one. Here you go, Susha. There's your blue thistle. I'm
Okay.
not sure that's the spot.
I
Okay.
have my knife.
She's ready. She packed her knife and she was
Underwear.
like, just in case I need my knife. And I was like, okay, there you go. There's your just in case. Okay. So lastly, and there's no way I'm going to get it done for you in 10 minutes because it's the kind of piece that I could dig around with forever. But I'll at least present the idea to you guys and we'll finish it up and photograph it. But Leanne's like, hey, you need 3 pieces. And I was like, okay. Well, kind of in the same vein, we will get these little ornaments. And last year we did this, and we sold them done. And that was super fun. You never know, or at least I never know, like how something's going to take off, but it did pretty well. And this year we're doing this as a workshop. But why it kind of goes along with this segment is all year long. Can you see these, Ricky? Yes, you can see these. All year long, we'll save little bits and pieces off of different projects and from different weddings. Like at the end of the night, like we'll do a lot of cleanups and we'll strike a lot of stuff, and we'll just have all these like little things that of course we can't really resell, but we can dry. And then this has been a fun project to use those with. Leanne, is there a corsage?
There is.
Roll of stem wrap. Yes, perfect. Yeah.
It's even white. I planned for that too.
And this is discontinued now. White,
What?
right? Am I wrong?
I don't think it's discontinued.
Okay, well, so we'll verify that. I
Okay,
was told
Doug.
white tape was discontinued.
Okay, Dub, you need to verify that. Annie, Ricky, watch for it. He would be the one that would know.
You know what? Maybe waterproof tape in white. I know that one's been discontinued.
That's sad.
But I know what, I think this was, or at least the 1 inch was. No? Okay, well, if it's not,
I don't know.
I'll be super happy if it wasn't. But anyway, we only have like 2 seconds, so I better get on it.
You got 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes,
Oh my
okay,
God.
okay.
You have an eternity.
All kinds of time. So these are super fun. I just do them with cold glue. You can really use a lot of different kinds of glue, right? And I just take a little bit of glue around the top. The nice thing about cold glue is it's gonna give me a minute. I bought this year at Hobby Lobby, $2.49. And they're just a cute little snowball shaped ornament. Of course, I'm going to take off that generic ribbon. We don't want that. I packed some beautiful teal linen ribbon. How pretty is that? What'd you say?
Very pretty.
I know! And I like to start with just a little bit of a base of moss when I do these.
Is that reindeer moss?
It is a little
Yeah.
like enhanced reindeer moss. The reason we started doing these is we were doing a lot of like the succulent and dried flower pumpkins. We have some corporate clients that do a lot of them or order a lot of them from us, and we were trying to think of something fun like for the winter holiday that we could use dried
So
things
from
for.
pumpkins to ornaments.
From pumpkins to ornaments, right? So I like to go in with a little bit of moss, and then the next thing I like to do is anything that's going to be kind of longer and drippy. I like to go in with that next. And it's going to have that awkward teenage stage. Don't all floral design like arrangements.
There is that point.
There's like that
where it's
moment where you're like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna come together? How'd you do over there? Did you do me dirty on the sisal?
I'm gonna come back. I'm busy now.
You're like, I don't know. She looks good from here.
Actually, I got some in there.
Okay.
I didn't get it all.
Okay.
But yeah.
She's like, you finish your own arrangement later. Okay.
So what is that you're using?
Oh, this is
Or amaranth?
Yeah, dried amaranthus. Yeah, she's like, it dries so beautiful. This one's lost a bunch of its color, but I wanted something that felt a little bit neutral for this arrangement. I don't know if I call this arrangement for this little ornament I'm making.
Okay, so I have a confirmation from Teacher Dove. Oasis stem wrap is only available in light green, green, and dark green.
So sad.
So sad. Better get on eBay.
Better get on eBay.
So I've got to hide all my whites so that nobody steals it.
I'm trying to remember. Someone was clearancing it, and I bought all their boxes. Because it was 1 inch, because I'm having a really hard time finding 1 inch, because I don't think that Oasis has brought 1 inch back yet.
I have a box of 1 inch.
I need a case, Leanne!
Well, I found a box.
I found a box,
and so
okay.
I got it for you. I
Awesome.
don't have a case, but I
I'll
got
trade
your
you
box.
something. What do we have? It's like, I'll trade you some tape for some glue. It's like that kind of where
Do you have any floral lock?
I know, or floral lock.
Floral lock.
You know you've been doing it for a while when you're like, oh, my favorite thing. same boat. What will we do without our crutches? Our floral crutches.
We'll start a petition.
Start a petition. Bring it back. I know, right? This is just a little bit of dried hydrangea. I think it makes just a really beautiful little base. I don't like this to get too big. I like to keep it just delicate and scale. And I mean, that's the downside to this type of project is you can just little details forever. But this is, I'm telling my Francois Weeks, right? I'm just like, oh, the beautiful little details. She'd be like, wait a second. But I love her little work. All right, let's see. Do I have any questions for you guys as I'm gluing a million little bits and pieces on this? Oh, Ricky has a question.
Well, we got some comments.
Oh, comments.
Here. Tess says that she loves this idea and thinks it would be a great hostess gift.
Oh, yeah.
For the parties.
Oh, yeah.
And then Scott says, this life is giving me Lucy and Ethel in the chocolate factory.
I'm taking that as a compliment.
We are going to do it as a compliment.
So we talked this morning and we were like, this is all going to be about joy. So this is us bringing all the joy we have right now.
That's right. Joy and beauty.
And
to
too
the
much
world.
coffee. That's all we got. That's all we got. Oh, well, if anything else, even if you get no good ideas, I hope that you chuckle at us. Right? It will be a win.
That we brought a little bit of joy
Right.
to your day.
Right.
And we all need a little bit of joy and beauty. And
Right.
here we go.
I agree. And I think, having some fun and some laughs and making Christmas things. Now, if we were only blasting Christmas tunes right now.
I know, except then YouTube would cut us off because
Oh,
of stealing the
copyright.
music.
All right, well, I guess I better not break into song. Nobody wants that.
Well, nobody wants it from me either. That would be really a sad state of affairs. They would turn us off.
Did
for
we
sure.
get cut off for other reasons? Yeah. Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, going in with some stats, and you guys, seriously, this whole bucket of stuff is just leftover stuff from weddings this year. All of it, the whole trend with the dried, dyed, bleached botanicals.
And there's always so much that we have as florists.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you do with this except for something like this,
And how
right?
perfect.
Corsage work. or-
Yeah. And then they can come by one-of-a-kind hostess gifts. Thank you, Tess. Good idea.
Yes.
Right?
One of a kind.
Okay, so the other thing I was thinking is that there's no way I would have energy in the season to implement something like this, but how cute would it be if you saved a little bit of stuff from a wedding and you made your newlywed couple a little ornament from their dried flowers?
Oh,
You're
good.
super cool. I know, such a cute idea. But in the season you're like, that's not gonna happen.
But you
But-
Can we do a close-up for our studio?
Yeah, am I going this
Our
way?
online audience.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
man, you
there you go. I
guys.
love that.
So, she's not done. We're gonna keep detailing her for the next
Yeah,
hour. No. You have to charge $1 million for it.
And then Ricky will get great close-up photos of these tomorrow so that you'll be able to see them finished. When I finish adding the arrangium to make that arrangement perfect, that will be my job. But then it'll be posted in the Tulip Bunch tomorrow afternoon. You'll see the professional photos. That way you can snag them for inspiration, add them to your little photo library. You're like, oh yeah, remember Teacher Jeri said, blah, blah, blah. And then don't forget to go back to her playlist and watch her toolkit live stream, because I think that was one of the most brilliant things that we've done on live, because everybody always is, what do I do? And
Yeah,
you
what's
add
in
it
your
right
tool
there.
bag? Yeah, and I feel like we add to our list, you gotta stop somewhere. Those bags can't get that heavy, but yeah, we've added some things. But no, yeah, it was a really fun one, and that's I love passing that knowledge off to other people. Learn from my mistakes. I think that I just wanted to also mention the amount of, this is all pretty typical stuff that we would see dried, but it's amazing what kind of stuff dries really beautifully. These are these little rosebuds. How beautiful they are. Just dried so pretty. But we found that even dahlia and ranunculus dries really beautiful. Scabiosa, weird things where you're like, I'm so surprised this dries, and it holds up in this type of project, which I think is amazing. So.
And the trick is to try to dry everything.
Yeah.
You can always throw it away later.
Right.
And if it works, then you've got free money, basically. So
Right.
that's great.
Or a box of dusty dead things. But
One or the other.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of great thank yous are coming in for your live and your demos today.
Oh, thank you.
But no, let's do a big thank you for Jeri for everything, because you did give us a lot of ideas of how to use our time wisely right now. Remember, we had the change in time, and so you've got that extra hour that you can invest in getting ready for the holidays and using up things. But for now, we have to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Susie and Caledonia, for keeping us live. Thank you, Ricky and Annie, for keeping the comments going. Thank you, Dove, for doing the research. And Michael, I know you're out there, and David, I know you're out there. And thank you to the class who came in with us, which was a lot of fun. And thank you, Jeri.
I'm not ready to be
Oh my
done.
gosh.
I want to keep hanging out with you guys.
I know.
Yes.
It's like, okay, it's really the interaction, and you get.
Actually, that's what makes it, honestly. You guys were a little quiet today, but I understand.
And
We all want to be a little quiet today.
And then we'll do this again. I don't know when it is. We'll have to put her on the schedule again, but we'll have her back so that you can see. Next week, I believe it is Teacher Michelle that's on next week on live. Yes, okay. And hopefully you will be with us as well. So thank you, Jeri.
Absolutely.
We'll
Thanks
do
for
this
letting me come
again.
hang out.
Yay.
I appreciate it.
And now we'll get things fluffed for the pictures.
I know, I have to finish all my things.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye now.